Okay, Mr. Chamberlain, are you here, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Please.
Okay, so please, you can share your screen. We'll start in 1 minute. So, but I'll call you in, but you can share your screen ahead of time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I hope it's visible now.
Yes, it is. I can see it.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a few people here already, so I guess we'll just start. I'm sure others will join in as we go on so that we don't waste further time. So good morning, good morning. Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's session. Thank you so much. We are glad to have you here. So first, before we begin today's session, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Georgina Amadi, and I am the operations manager here at IE-HUB. So for many of us that don't know what IE-HUB is or what we do here at IE-HUB, I would introduce us briefly. So IE-HUB is short for International Education Hub, and we are a study abroad agency. We are not just about helping students travel abroad, but we are very passionate about assisting students to build a career path for themselves and also providing solutions from accredited universities, as well as helping you with your visa and visa processing and flights. Okay, we're located in the city of Lagos, Omole phase 1 to be precise. And if you have interest in studying in institutions that are in the UK, Canada, Germany, Australia, USA, we are the plug for you. Okay, so that being said, we have our representative today from Algoma University in the person of Mr. Chamberlain. So I'll be leaving the floor open for him to take over as he takes us on today's session. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope I'm audible by any chance. I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Okay. So my name is Chamberlain. I represent Algoma University, managing the Africa region. I'm here to tell you more about our university and how you can successfully come join us through IE-HUB to study at Algoma University. So we'll proceed with the presentation, and at the end of the presentation, Priscilla would preside over the questions, and I'll be available to, of course, answer every question that you have. Okay. So Algoma University's advantage, first, we're a public university, so we believe in academic excellence. We have a very right. Okay. So we have a very high visa success rate. For Nigeria, we have approximately 77% visa success rate. Our tuition deposit is low, and also we have accessible requirements. There is high demand. We have high demand programs that are also PGWP eligible programs, and we have great campus locations for students that have different types of course, lifestyles. Why the difference? Why is a public university different from other universities? Public universities are actually at the top tier of Canadian education system, which means that the best Canadian institutions are all public universities. As a graduate of a public university, you're guaranteed one of the highest paying jobs in Canada, in Ontario, where the university is actually located. Also, most Canadian families send their children to um, public universities. So it tells you that most public universities are actually elite universities. Now, so what's the benefit of the degree? Basically provides higher employment rate. For Canada, for the Canada system, the minimum qualification you need to get a job is actually a bachelor's degree. This also means that public universities are also first choice for employers in Canada. So if you graduate from a public university, the employers will definitely consider your application first for employment. Now, with a degree from a Canadian public university, you can actually work or study anywhere. So it means it gives you international, your academic qualification gives you international recognition. You can work in any part of the world, not just in Canada. Now, like I mentioned, the visa success rate, the Canadian government have made it very clear that, they will be issuing more visa approvals for students applying to study in public universities. Now, for Algoma University in Nigeria, we are currently, our visa approval rate is 77%, and on a global rate, as of 2024, it's on 72%. What this means for you is when you apply, you apply with the right document and also with the right financial requirement, you are guaranteed your visa when it comes to Algoma University. Also, through IE-HUB, we'll be offering all our students what we call end-to-end service. So in situations whereby you need our support in regards to visa, regards to visas or visa assistance, we also issue visa support letter. So what this means is, for example, if your visa is being delayed, you're unsure about the outcome, please do contact us. We are able to issue you a visa support letter that you can submit with your application for it to be for it to be expedited. And on such situations, in the past, we've had very successful decision made on the application. Now, the PGWP, what does it mean? Postgraduate work permit for all our programs at Algoma University. Our students are eligible for PGWP. For the bachelor's program, they are entitled to 3 years postgraduate work permit. For the master's program, they are entitled to 3 years postgraduate work permit. For the postgraduate certificate programs, they are entitled to 1 or 2 years postgraduate work permit, depending on the duration of the program. Now, for our bachelor's degree and our master's program, being a public university, we are not affected by the new IRCC regulations on only having PWP for STEM programs. So it's not affected by the new IRC policy is not actually affecting any of our PWP programs. Now, our master's program. Now, we have launched 2 additional master's programs. We initially had the Masters of Computer Science, the MCS program, which is also a 1-year program. We have the Masters of Science in Biology Research for students that want to go into biology as in their master's program. Now, the 2 new programs we've launched recently is the Masters of Global Business and Economy for students that are more business inclined. It's a 2-year program, which means that you can actually travel with your dependents while you're studying with us. And also we have the Masters of Science in Business Analytics, also a business inclined program for students that of course want to pursue their master's program in that field. Now, academic requirements. For the bachelor's degree at Algoma University, we only require 5 credits, which includes English. So math is not a requirement for our program. At Algoma University, we accept combination of results. So if you have, we accept basically combination of either WAEC in 2 different sittings, or WAEC or NECO combination, or NECO combination, as the case may be. But we do accept combination of results. So as long as you have 5 credits, you're eligible to come study any of our undergraduate program at Algoma University. Now, for the English language requirement, as long as you have a C5 in your WAEC or NECO in English language, you're exempted from writing an English language test. What this means is that you don't need to write an English language test when you're applying to study with Algoma University, as long as you have a C5, a minimum of C5 in English in your WAEC or NECO. Now, in the situation whereby your WAEC or NECO is a C6, or the certificate itself is more than 10 years, then you will be eligible to write an English language test. You can either write the IELTS, the TOEFL, the PTE, or the Duolingo. It all depends on which of them is as flexible for you. Some students will prefer to write Duolingo, as the case may be. But like I said, if you have a C5 in your WAEC in English or in your NECO, please, you will be waived from writing an English language test. Now, for our master's degree program, you will need to have either a first class or a second class upper degree qualification for you to come study our master's program. Now, your CGPA must be a minimum of 3.70 out of 5.0 for you to come onto the program. And also for the English language requirement, students do not require an English language test to come into our master's program. So as long as you're studying a 4-year degree program, and as long as you have a first class or a second class upper degree qualification, you will be eligible to come study with us at Algoma University. Now, for the postgraduate certificate program, we have the 1-year program for both programs. So for the information technology program, the postgraduate certificate, students require only second class lower, third class or HND upper credit minimum for them to come onto the program. So even if you have an HND upper credit and you're wondering how you can get a degree or how you can get extra qualification to get work, to study work in Canada, please come onto the postgraduate certificate program in information technology. It's a conversion program. What this means is regardless of your academic qualification, you can come onto the program as well. So please put in your application for if you want a postgraduate qualification going forward. Now we have the computer science program. Is one of our popular faculty, the computer science. We have different types of computer science program. We have the BSc in computer science. We have also computer game technology. We have mobile software engineering for students that want to build motor racing cars. So we have different types of computer science related program. But for the BSc in computer science program, we have a specialized scholarship, which I will mention to you later on in the presentation. Now, for the computer science and technology faculty, we have a new program called the BSc Computer Science Accelerated Program. So this is an 18-month program for all students from different academic backgrounds. For example, if someone studies Bachelor of Business Administration, for example, and they want to get a BSc in computer science so that they can get a job, they can come onto the program. It's an 18-month program. So after 18 months, the students will be awarded a BSc in computer science. So the entry requirement is just a bachelor's degree with a minimum of a second class lower. So you can imagine having like a BA in business administration in the next 18 months, you're actually getting a BSc in computer science. That is a very, very big advantage. So students, this is one of our in-demand and popular programs currently right now in the Africa region. So we also have the Masters of Computer Science, which is very, very popular as well in the region. So for students that want to, go and continue their computer science program, so the student must have an academic background in computer science as well. Another popular program that we have is the graduate certificate in information technology, which I mentioned for students that have a second class, lower, third class, or HND upper credit. So this program is also a conversion program. So students that students that have academic backgrounds in different fields can actually come onto the program. It's a 1-year program and it comes with automatic scholarships as well, which I'll be mentioning to add later on the slide. Now we have other popular business-related programs like business administration, accounting, economics, finance, and combination of finance and economics as well. These are also very, very, very in-demand programs in the market. Like I said, the entry requirements for our bachelor's degree programs is just 5 credits. So if you have at least 5 credits in your WAEC or NECO results, and of course, the credit must also include English, then please feel free to apply. The application requirement through IE-HUB can be made. All our applications through IE-HUB, we're giving free applications. So basically from your undergraduate program, your postgraduate certificate program, and also your master's program, all those applications, the fees are actually waived. So you can make your application through IE-HUB as well. So we also have other programs like Bachelor of Science in Biology for students that are interested in biology. We also have environmental science as well. So students that want this program, please note that there is a high demand for graduates with this qualification. So when students graduate from studying with us, they are automatically given employment at those industries. Now, at Algoma University, we have 3-year degree programs, and this is basic for all our undergraduate programs. What this means is a student can come into Algoma University and graduate after 3 years. But personally, I would advise the student to do a 4-year program. Why? Because the 4-year program comes with 1-year work placement. The 1-year work placement means that the student will gain international work experience, which is very, very essential for international students. Now, if a student wants to do a 3-year program, it will only mean that they will do the 3-year degree program and move on to probably doing their master's program. But if a student does a 4-year degree program, it means that they would have 1 year in a work in an industry related to their course of study. That way, when they graduate, they're able to transition directly into working without requiring extra work experience. But if a student does a 3-year degree program, they will require some form of international work experience, which of course most employers will ask for when employing graduates. Now we move to the tuition fees. So for our bachelor's degree program, we have 20,000. The tuition fee is 20,500 Canadian dollars. For the graduate certificate program is 17,500, and for the master's program is 24,500. Now, these tuition fees are heavily discounted as compared to other public universities in Ontario. So our tuition fees are one of the lowest in the province. Now, our tuition deposit for our bachelor's degree is just 2,000 Canadian dollars, not USD, but Canadian dollars. And the 1-year graduate certificate program is also 2,000 Canadian dollars. For the master's program, students are not required to pay any deposit. So what this means is, if you're going for a master's program at Algoma University, when you receive your offer letter, you automatically get your provincial attestation letter for your visa application. For the undergraduate and postgraduate certificate program, once you make your payment of 2,000 Canadian dollars and confirmation of receipt of payment, you receive your PAD, which is the provincial attestation letter for your visa application. Now, we have spent an average of about 30 million Canadian dollars over the few years just for scholarships alone. So we have different types of scholarships. For example, we have for the undergraduate program, we have up to 5,000 Canadian dollars renewable scholarship. What this means is if a student comes into our program and they have like 7 A's in their WAEC results, they will be given 5,000 Canadian dollars scholarship renewable. So once their scholarship is applicable in the first year of study, it's also going to be applicable in the second year of study and all through the duration of study of the student. So that is the only renewable scholarship that we have for the undergraduate program. Now we also have the specialized scholarship for students that are actually going for the BSc in computer science program. Now, if they're going for the 3-year program, they get a total of 7,500 Canadian dollars scholarship, and they're going for the 4-year program, which has the internship year, they will get a total of 10,000 Canadian dollars scholarship. That's on average of 2,500 Canadian dollars off their tuition fee. What this is a specialized scholarship, so it has nothing to do with merit. It is guaranteed for every single student that applies for BSc in computer science, regardless of the initial score. If the student has 7 A's and has gotten 5,000 Canadian dollars merit scholarship already, this scholarship will still apply to that same student. So I'll move on to the campuses that we have. We have 2 distinct campuses. We have the Sault Ste. Marie campus, is more of a rural style campus, the home of the Aborigines in Canada, so students can actually learn the rich history of Canadians. And we have the Brampton campus, which is, of course, a big city campus where students can have a rich social life in terms of the social amenities available. It's a very big city with an international airport, so students can of course, move from cities to cities in Canada. Now, the Brampton campus offers students with a very rich lifestyle. And what they also gives them the opportunity of studying, of course, of working while studying. Also a very rich lifestyle, like I mentioned. You get to travel, you get to move from place to place. You just picture yourself in a very, very big city while you're studying in that city. There's so many social engagements you can get yourself in. You can just go to the cinemas. You can go watch a big movie. There's so much students can get engaged with, and also there are a lot of opportunities for students to get a part-time job while they're studying as well. The Sault Ste. Marie is quite the opposite. It's more of a conservative learning environment. The community itself is, like I mentioned, is the home of the Aborigines in Canada, so students can learn the rich culture about the Canadians and also the Aborigines. Also, there's something very unique about this campus. It offers students the direct path to permanent residency. There's the students can apply for their permanent residency through the RCIP, which is the Rural Community Immigration Pilot Program. This is a program that has been issuing students with permanent residency, which was launched since last year. So students can take advantage of this PR while they are studying. So at the end of their study, they will get their permanent residency immediately, and they can also, of course, stay back in Canada. Also, there is on-campus guaranteed accommodation, and also the cost of living. Being a rural campus, the cost of living is quite low. There are a lot of part-time jobs in manufacturing, IT, aviation, and industry as well. So students can take advantage of this as well. You know, the students can connect with nature. There's a lot of outdoor activities. There are mountains, there are rivers. There's so much students can do if you're an outdoor person, because this is a very right environment. It's very serene, so students can really connect with nature while they're studying with us. No, we have some important deadlines. So if you choose to join us this May 2025 intake, please put your application through IE-HUB before the 21st of this month, so that you can take advantage of the wonderful opportunities that we currently have. The tuition deposit must be paid before the 7th of May as well, so that you can apply for your visa. So for the 2025 intake deadline, if you're planning to study with us in September 2025, please feel free to make your application before the 20th of June. Even if you apply for the May intake and you feel you're not able to make it in the May intake, you have the option to defer to September intake. So also the deposit deadline for the September intake is the 4th of July. So please take advantage of that. So thank you for your time. I'll pass it on back to Priscilla to coordinate the questions. Thank you very much for your time, everyone.
Thank you so much. That was a very brief yet detailed presentation from you. Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain. So everyone, if we have questions, please, now will be the time. We can drop them in the chat box and we would attend to them. So while we're on that, let me just give a brief summary of everything he has talked about so far. So for the University of Algoma, we do not have deposits included, tuition deposits included for masters. So meaning that once an application has been put by us to the school, you are immediately given your admission in give or take 2 weeks or less going through us. And of course, you're getting your PAL. We are the ones to apply for your PAL as well. PAL is your provincial attestation letter, which is now a compulsory documents you're to have before you put in your visa application for Canada. And of course, the deposit tuition for Algoma is 2,000 Canadian dollars, right? This is actually one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, that you can get out there. And for the full tuition, which he has already talked about. Yes, I'm seeing your chats. So if you have questions, please just drop it. Okay, so there's a question here, Mr. Chamberlain. Do you offer masters in public health?
No, we currently have 4 master's programs, which is the Masters in Computer Science, Masters of Science in Biology Research. We have the Masters in Business, Global Business and Economy, and then we have the Masters in Business Analytics. Now, we are also launching new programs, which health-related programs like social work, psychology, clinical psychology we part of. But currently, we do not offer such on the master's level at this point.
Okay, so we have another question. Can second class lower apply to the University of Algoma?
No, currently, the minimum entry requirement for master's degree is a first class or a second class upper degree with a CGPA of 3.70 out of 5.0. But for students that have second class lower qualification, they can either go for a postgraduate certificate program in information technology. That's a conversion program. So regardless of academic background, you can actually apply to study that program. Alternative, you can actually do the BSc Computer Science Accelerated Program. That is also for students that don't have academic qualification in computer science, but have a bachelor's degree with a minimum of second class lower. So the students can decide that, okay, because of the high demand of graduates in computer science, you can come onto the program. It's an 18-month program. At the end of 18 months, you graduate with a BSc in computer science. With your BSc in computer science, you can either go into direct employment, or you can decide to do a master's degree in computer science. So that's another route to get into master's degree, doing your master's degree in computer science as well. So the options are available, and the options are there. Even with your BSc computer science program, at the end of 18 months, you can go straight into employment. You do your postgraduate certificate program in information technology. After the program, you go straight into employment. So at whatever route you want to choose or you want to progress to, there's always opportunities for employment as well.
All right, thank you. So this person is wondering if it's only tech courses that we have at Algoma.
The reason why it seems like it's only tech program is based on industry demand. So we offer programs that we know that there is a return on investment for the students. You don't want to study a program whereby you're struggling to get jobs, especially in Ontario. So you're doing a program that you're guaranteed jobs. At the end of your studies, you're guaranteed immediate employment. So our graduate employment rate, employment rate is at 97.1%, which is very, very high as compared to other institutions in Ontario. So what it means that we are doing the right thing by offering students programs that are tailor-made based on industry demand. When you graduate from Algoma University, you are going straight into employment. We are continuously introducing programs based on industry demand. So if you realize that there is an opportunity for students to gain employment in different fields, like for example, we're introducing psychology, clinical psychology, we're introducing our MBA program. As long as there is opportunity for our students to gain employment after getting those degree qualifications, we will have that program available to international students.
Okay, thank you very much. So we have another question. This student wants to know if HND with lower credits can go for MSc.
No, the entry requirement for a master's program is first class or second class lower with a minimum CGPA of 3.70 out of 5.0. For students that have HND, I would advise them to either go for they will either go for the undergraduate program directly. But if they have an upper credit, then of course they can come into the postgraduate certificate program.
Okay, thank you. So Marta wants to know how many courses we have for postgraduate certification. I think we can drop a link for the Algoma websites so that some of the courses can be checked out. But kindly let us know what course you're interested in specifically so that we can tell you, okay, this is available. So on to the next question. Okay, so this is quite long. This person, good day. My daughter had a Canadian student visa to be expired this March 2025, but she could not travel. Sorry. More messages keep coming in, so it's scrolling back. Okay. So I have serious challenges that really affected me. Can she reapply for a student visa again for first degree program without being denied a student visa? She wants a first degree in IT program like software engineering or cybersecurity. So this is more like a visa question. Yes, she can apply again. She can apply again just with the right documents, with the right documents pretty much put together. And of course, if you're going to apply, you're applying through us, and we will definitely see to it that everything is in place. We cannot give 100% assurance for visa approval because we're not the consulate, but we would make sure that everything will be put in the right order before putting in an application. And for the course which you would like to study, yes, Algoma University has this course available. So it depends on the degree she has, on her grade. That's what would determine if we can put in an application for her into Algoma University or not. However, we have other options available as well. So do reach out to us after now and we will attend to you. Okay, so we have another question. Do you have PhD in philosophy?
Yeah, we have for PhD applicants, I would advise them to contact the postgraduate office for that. PhD goes through a different route. So for students that want to apply for a PhD program, they will need to contact the university directly and also find a way of pitching their research proposal so that the university, if it's an area of interest, then of course the university will contact the student. If it's not an area of interest, I'm sorry, they will just decline on the first contact.
So I have a personal question. Can we get like a time frame as to when the lecturers respond so that the students have, an idea?
For the PhD program, honestly, it's there's no clear path. A PhD program application can take between 6 to 12 weeks to from the first time the students contact the faculty to when the student will finally, if they're successful, to get an offer letter. But there's a lot of back and forth on that, because the faculty will need, if it's an area of interest, the faculty will need to assign a supervisor to the student. The supervisor would need to adjust their proposal to fit the needs of the university. There's a lot of back and forth that goes there. So it takes about between 6 to 12 weeks for that to be finalized and for the students to be accepted onto the program.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Okay, so we have, this question is relatively almost like the others. Can second class lower apply? No. Algoma University for now only accepts 2-1 or a first class. No HND, no OND is accepted. Okay, so we have Gladys.
Just
Sorry?
for the master. I said just for the master's
That's
program.
for masters, sorry, for masters. Okay, so Gladys, if you're doing BSc in computer science, can your spouse and children join you? This is also like a visa related question, but yes. Do you want to answer that, Mr. Chamberlain?
Yes, if you're doing a master's program, your dependents can join you, definitely. The master's program itself is a 2-year program, and you have 3 years postgraduate work permit. So at the end of the day, you're going to be spending 5 years in Canada with your family. So that's a great opportunity for people to travel, to study with their loved ones beside them while they are going through the activities of study and working at the same time. So yes, you are eligible to travel with your loved or your dependents. Let me use the word with dependents. That's if you're legally married with children, you can definitely go with your dependents and enjoy the benefits of what the system has to offer.
Okay. So Olufemi wants to know how much for the master's degree tuition fee.
Okay, our tuition fee for our master's program is 24,500 Canadian dollars. The tuition deposit is currently at 0, but the balance of the tuition fee is spread across the duration of study. So when you get on enrollment, you make the first payment, and the balance is paid, of course, across the duration of study.
All right, thank you so much. Okay, so Gladys is asking for the tuition fee for BSc Computer Science.
The
I think
tuition,
you mentioned the one for masters.
yeah, our tuition fee for our program is 20,500 for our undergraduate program. So it comes with a lot of scholarship as well, but the basic fee is 20,500 for the undergraduate program. Yes, the tuition deposit is just 2,000 Canadian dollars.
2,000 Canadian dollars. All right, thank you. And for masters, that's 24,500 for masters for the tuition fee for computer science. Okay, so we have another question. Will my son with a 3.1 GP out of 5 CGPA in economics be admitted for MSc Finance?
We currently do not have MSc in finance. What we have that is a bit related is global business and economy. Then we have masters in business analytics. So those are the 2 related programs that we have. And those are actually the entry requirements is also a second class upper and or a first class.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so OBDK has a BSc psychology too. I think we've gone over this, but let me just read it. A BSc psychology too and a PGD educational psychology. So can I apply with my 2 certificates? No, you cannot apply with both certificates because the University of Algoma only accepts a 2-1 and a 2-2, sorry, a 2-1 and a first class for their master's degree, right? Does an undergrad have an age limit? Mr. Chamberlain?
No, there is no age limit for undergrads. What we do because of the IRCC itself, what we have done here is your last qualification shouldn't be more than 15 years. So let's say, for example, your last qualification is, 15 years from now, that's the 2010. You must have been working continuously to show that there's basically you have used your last qualification to stay to have a career. But if you have not had a qualification in the last 15 years and you have not done anything, like you just done your WAEC, you've not gone into employment, then you need to justify what you've been doing the last 15 years. So there can't be a gap of 15 years because it shows you are the person who definitely struggle in the academics when they come study with us. So in a situation whereby the student is like, for example, they only have WAEC and their WAEC is over 20 years ago, they would need to submit their CV to show what they've been doing for the last 20 years, right? So that will justify that they need the extra qualification to forge ahead in their career.
Okay, so just to reiterate what he just said, you shouldn't have any study gaps, basically. And if you do have study gaps, let's say 10 to 15 years of a study gap, you need to have good work experience to cover up that gap to be able to get an admission into Algoma University. So we have another question. Is psychology course available for master's degree?
The psychology program will be launched hopefully by next month for the September 2025 intake. So as soon as it's launched, information will be passed through across to you via IE-HUB. So just stay tuned and that information will get across. For now, we're waiting for the final approval for the program for the master's in psychology.
All right, thank you, sir. Okay, so OBDK, if that's the course you want to go for and you're ready for the next intake, kindly send us. I'll be dropping my email before we close so that you can send all inquiries and all, and you will definitely be responded to today. Okay, so moving on, we have Onyechi who wants to know, based on location, what are her chances of getting a job while in school?
Okay, we have a dedicated team at the job center that actually helps international students get jobs. So what you need to do is at enrollment, you also have the opportunity of registering for jobs based on your available times. So you go to the job center with your information and you're registered. So you also impute your available times for part-time work. So you get, I believe the question is about part-time work. So you can actually get part-time jobs while you're studying. That is guaranteed on both campuses. But also note that if you're going for an undergraduate program, you have the opportunity of doing a full-time co-op, which is 1 year of paid employment related to your field of study. So it's different from part-time. So there are 2 different options available to students studying with Algoma, studying with us at this point here.
Okay, thank you so much for that. Is IELTS required? That's English proficiency, as a proof of English proficiency.
Now, the narrative with Nigerians is when you're required to write an English language test, the first thing that comes to mind is IELTS. And it's very difficult to remove that narrative. But for me, because the word IELTS sometimes and I don't want to sound like I'm a bit biased, but I would like to say that some students, when they hear the word IELTS, they don't want to take the test from that onset. So if you are required to write an English language test, we accept 4 types of English language tests: the IELTS, the PTE, the TOEFL, and the Duolingo. If you feel the Duolingo, out of the 4, Duolingo is the most easiest and flexible online test you can take. It's also very cheapest out of the 4. So if you feel that you are a bit, you're not, too open to taking an English language test, you can also push for Duolingo, or you push for any of the tests that is suitable for you. I don't sound biased, like I said. Now, if you have a C5 and your WAEC or NECO, if you have a C5 in English language and your WAEC or NECO is less than 10 years, right? You will get an English language waiver for our undergraduate and postgraduate programs. Our master's program do not require English language test. So as long as you have a C5 in English language in your WAEC or NECO results, you are not required to write an English language test. It will be waived automatically as long as that certificate or result is less than 10 years old. So if your WAEC or NECO is 2015 and it has a C5 on it for English, you are not required to write an English language test for the undergraduate application and postgraduate certificate application. For the master's application, there is no requirement for English language test. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Okay, so we have another question. What about someone who already has a master's degree and wants to go for another master's?
Yeah, yes, you can go for a second master's degree. It all depends on if we offer that program. So if we offer that program and of course you meet the entry requirements, we will give you the opportunity of coming to join us. Definitely, yes.
All right, so they are open. Okay, so we have about 4 more questions. I have a BSc in agricultural economics and extension. Which one do I fit in? So I think we've had a couple of questions concerning two.
Yeah, but I would like to answer this question because the person might feel maybe the person didn't get the question, the answer the first time.
Yeah.
Now, with a student that has a bachelor's degree, second class lower, regardless of the subject, whether it's agri, business administration, anything, right? You name it, right? But he has a second class lower and it's a bachelor's degree. The student can choose one to do an accelerated computer science program. That is 18 months. And at the end of 18 months, the student gets a BSc in computer science, right? That's one. The student can decide to either do what we call do our postgraduate in information technology. This is also a conversion program. So regardless of your academic background, you can actually do this program. This is a 1-year program that comes with 2 years postgraduate work permit. So either of the two fits in perfectly for students that want to gain a qualification that they are guaranteed jobs in Ontario at the end of their studies.
Okay, thank you so much for giving details on that question. Okay, so I think this person wants to know the full meaning of PAL, Provincial Attestation Letter.
I'll go further with explanation, right?
Okay.
The issuance of PAL has come about because one, they want people to take ownership of students coming to Canada and not actually going to their institution to study. Now, if a PAL is issued to a student, there are 3 people that have authorized that PAL to come into existence for that student. One is the IRCC, which is the Canadian government. The second is the province in which the school is situated, which is Ontario. And third is, of course, the university or the college or the institution where the student is going to study. So there are 3 individuals or institutions that are responsible for the study of a student in that province. What this means is if a PAL is issued to a particular student, it is only unique to that student and the PAL has an expiration date. You can use the PAL continuously. For example, you have a visa refusal, you can still use the same PAL to make another visa application until the expiry date is there. So it's very unique to you. The PAL guarantees you a seat in that institution inside that province. Your PAL cannot be used cannot be used for somebody else. It is only unique to you and you alone until it expires. And when it expires, you have the choice of getting it renewed by the institution by making an application back to the school, right? So if you have a PAL, it means that the province has put your name down in their own records that they are expecting you to come join XYZ institution at a particular time as recorded on their books. So if, for example, I issue a PAL, the number issued on the PAL is actually allocated to only you and you alone. So that's how the PAL works. I hope I am explained it very well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Yes, that was well explained. Okay, so I think we're down to our two last questions for today's session. The first one is, can a second class lower with a 3.0 apply?
Sure, like I mentioned earlier, such students can apply for either the postgraduate certificate program in information technology, which is a conversion program. It's a one-year program, and after which student will get 2 years postgraduate work permits, or they can go for the more or less like the accelerated computer science program, BSc, which is an 18-month program, and after which they can transition to either working or they can go further with their master's program. So the student has two options either ways. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, sir. So we're down to the last question for today. Do you have a Bachelor of Law, and how much is the tuition, if there is any?
Well, for Canadian study is quite different. If you're doing law, you have to do a pre-degree before going to law school. So we have a BA in Law and Justice for students that want to go into law qualification from undergraduate level. So you do a pre-law program, which is a BA in Law and Justice, which we have at Algoma University. It's a 3-year program or a 4-year program, as the case may be. So you can actually go into that program. Then from there, you can proceed to the law school.
All right, sir. Thank you so much. So I will be dropping my email now in the chat box. So please, if you have more inquiries, more questions, you can please send us. Some people are still just joining. Good to have you here, Okechukwu. Although we're done with the session, but it's recorded and you can always reach out. We would give you all the necessary information you need. Okay, one last question, Mr. Chimbali, or two more questions to go. Can 2.2 or 2.8, I think it's related to what you just talked about. So let me skip that. Please, what's the tuition fee for the accelerated program in computer science?
It's an 18-month program. So basically it's the same 20,500. It's just an accelerated program. So it's almost like, it's just 1 year, 6 months. So it's 20,500 Canadian dollars. And the deposit is just 2,000 Canadian dollars.
Okay, thank you, sir. Last question for the day. Can a capable, so I think what this person is trying to ask is if a 3.4 can apply for social works.
Well, a 3.4 will not, unless the committee reduces the entry requirement for the masters in social work when it comes out. Like I said, that program is still currently not yet out. It will be out hopefully next month, both social work masters and masters in psychology. So hopefully before the middle or by this time next month, hopefully those programs would have gotten the final approval, and the entry requirements will be a bit more elaborate for us to explain to you. But currently, for all our master's program, the entry requirement is a first class, a second class with a high CGPA of 3.70 out of 5.0. So if you have, second class upper, then it has to meet that CGPA criteria of at least 3.70.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Chamberlain. So for those of you that were not here earlier, that was our representative from Algoma University, and we have just ended the session, or we're about to close the session for today. I introduced us earlier, IE-HUB earlier, but for those of us that were not around, we are an international, the full meaning of IE-HUB, first of all, is International Education Hub, and we are a study abroad agency, and we're not just about helping you study abroad. We also we have counselors who are going to guide you in creating a good career path for you. And we do not just leave you hanging at the application stage only. We see through till the visa stage, and we offer visa services as well as flights. Okay, so that being said, my email is in the chat box. So please, if we have more questions, more inquiries, please send us an email and we will definitely respond to you today. So I would like to close the session for today. Thank you so much for joining, and do have a nice day. Where is our location in Nigeria? Sorry. So last question. This is for us. We are located in Lagos, Omole Phase 1, Lagos, Nigeria. Thank you so much once again. Thank you, Mr. Chamberlain. Do have a nice day.